Habakkuk is a small book, has 3 chapters in it. It's found in the Old Testament. And
I just read the first 4 verses.
And written in BC, about 626. The author is not exactly sure who wrote the words down, but Habakkuk was considered like a chorister in the temple because of chapter 3 is considered a psalm, and so they figure he was either a singer or sung in a choir or sung in a chorus of some sort. Dated about 626 BC in the Chaldean period, and possibly during the reign of Jehoiakim. You may remember Jehoiakim is found in 2 Kings 23, 34, and 35. And he was 25 when he became king, and he was not God's favorite king, but he did become king. But the word Jehoiakim, his name, means he who Jehovah has set up. If you set somebody up, what are you setting them up for? A fall, right? But God is going to use Jehoiakim to accomplish a purpose that Habakkuk is involved in. And what we want to do is understand what Habakkuk is petitioning God for, and how God answers him, and then what the end result is in Habakkuk's short period of time. Let's reread 1 through 4 there, Gary.
Okay. The burden which the prophet Habakkuk saw, the prophet's question, O Lord, how long shall I cry? And you will not hear, even cry out to you violence, and you will not say, why do you show me iniquity and cause me to see trouble? For plundering and violence are before me. There is strife and contention arises. Therefore the law is powerless, and justice never goes forth. For the wicked surround the righteous, therefore perverse judgment proceeds.
So I asked the question, is Habakkuk happy with the way things are?
No.
Well, how are things? How are things?
There's everything going on around him that he doesn't like.
What's going on around?
And violence, strife.
No one being punished.
Yeah, no one does
No
what?
one's being punished.
No one's being punished. Evil's being done. Nobody's being punished. Why don't God do something? Isn't that what Habakkuk's saying? God,
Yeah.
What is all this? All this is going on. Why don't you do something, right?
Yeah.
There's evil times going on. There's violence. There's all kinds of complaints. Everybody's grieving, wrestling their, and the violence is bad. There's a law slacked, and judgment doesn't never go forth. The laws are having no effect. If you do something bad, it's kind of looked over and everything goes on by. Does that sort of thing still go on?
Some places, yeah.
So that's what it is.
What's going on in the U.S. today?
Yeah, and it's those things are still going on. So all that stuff didn't go away just because Habakkuk petitioned God about it. Now, so you have a dishonesty, you have all kinds of crookedness going on, as well as all kinds of other mischief and stuff going on, sins of all different nature. And so Habakkuk's asking God, why? Do we ask God, why is all this stuff, why do you let it continue? Why does it continue? You ever ask God, wondered, why in the world don't God stop this? And if he doesn't stop it, what's our role? How are we supposed to deal with it?
To trust that he will in his own time and press on.
He'll deal with it in his own time. Let's see what the Lord has a plan. We're going to read His plan now. We're going to read down through from 5 down through 11. Gary Jackson, you want to read about 2 verses there, and Norman, you read 1 or so, and Autumn and Joy, y'all can finish it up then.
Look among the nations and watch, be utterly astounded. For I will work a work in your days which you would not believe, though it were told to you. For indeed I am raising up the Chaldeans, a bitter and hasty nation, which marches through the breadth of the earth, to possess and dwelling places that are not theirs.
Okay, Norman. Verse 7.
They are feared, a dreaded people, and they are laud to themselves and promote their own honor.
Okay. All right, Autumn, read 8.
Their horses are swifter than cheetahs and fiercer than wolves at dusk. Their charioteers charge from far away. Like eagles, they swoop down to devour their prey.
On they come, all bent on violence. Their hordes advance like a desert wind, sweeping captives ahead of them like sand. They scoff at kings and princes and scorn all their fortresses. They simply pile ramps of earth against their walls and capture them. They sweep past like the wind and are gone, but they are deeply guilty, for their own strength is their God.
All right, so what is this army invading there because they're being guided by God or allowed to by God?
Yeah.
They're being allowed to by God. They've been raised up. Why would you got all this stuff going in there? Then you have and this is not just in the nation of Israel; it's all around in this area. And why you got all this crookedness and all these things going on, evil things going on. So why would God raise up even more evil and invade the land? Why do you think? You got any answers why He would raise up another evil army and send them over there? This evil army is going to do what? They're going to occupy the houses. They're going to throw you out of your house, occupy your house. They're going to
You become a slave.
and make slaves out of you.
Yeah.
You know, why would God do that?
Because you weren't doing right.
Because you weren't doing right. He raised up another one to go through there and change things, and that's not doing right. But whose God is the Chaldeans' God?
It says for their own strength is their God.
Their own strength is their God. They just believe in themselves, and they don't know that God is doing this, is bringing them in there and going to punish these people that are doing all these others. Now, so they are a group, and that's exactly what Jehoiakim did. He implemented more false gods when he reigned in his years and when he was over Israel and all that for a short period of time. He gave away the treasures in the God's tabernacle, gave away those treasures and everything, and eventually caused Israel winds up in captivity in Babylon and like that. So there's a long period of time that a lot of things, repercussions off of all this. Now, let's read some more about see what Habakkuk thinks about all this. Verse 12, we'll go through 17. Art thou not from everlasting, O Lord, my God, mine Holy One? We shall not die, O Lord. Thou hast ordained them for judgment. And, O mighty God, thou hast established them for correction. All right, Autumn, you want to read there? 13.
What? 13?
Start at 13 and go ahead, just work around.
But you are pure and cannot stay in the sight of evil. Will you wink at their treachery? Should you be silent while the wicked swallow up people more righteous than they?
14.
Are we only fish to be caught and killed? Are we only sea creatures that have no leader? Must we be strung up on their hooks and caught in their nets while they rejoice and celebrate?
They that take up all of them with a hook, they catch them in their net and gather them in their dragnet. Therefore they rejoice and are glad. Therefore they sacrifice to their net.
And continually slay the
And burn
nations.
incense to their dragnet, because by them their share is sumptuous and their food plentiful. Shall, go ahead and finish it.
Just finish that
Oh,
through
yeah,
17.
one more verse. Shall they therefore empty their net and continue to slay nations without pity?
Well, what does Habakkuk think about God's plan?
He didn't
I
like
like
it.
it.
Didn't like it at all.
What indicates that he didn't like God's plan? What are some indicators that tell you that he didn't like God's plan?
He's questioning it. Surely you don't plan to wipe us out, and he's questioning God's plan.
Yeah. He first tells God, you're holy, right? In verse 12 it says, you're the Holy One, O God. You know, thou hast ordained them for judgment. But he says thou hast not established them for correction. So Habakkuk is looking at this army that's going to be coming in there, and he can't believe God is going to send an army that's going to persecute him more than the people that are there. It's already persecuting them.
Yeah.
You got worse people coming to persecute people that Habakkuk considers, holy or righteous, right? Not necessarily holy or righteous, but more holy and righteous than the ones that's coming to do the invasion. And so if you're Habakkuk, now you're questioning God, right? You're asking him, what? You're not really, putting God in the corner, or you're trying to understand what, why are you doing this, God? This is a nation that's worse than we are, less holy than we are, and you're bringing them in to invade us. So why do you think there's the reason for that? You have any ideas? No ideas why God would do what there? He's going to treat the Israelites and the people there, he's going to treat them like they were fish, just going to catch them and throw them in the net, devour them, do away with them. Why would he do that? Habakkuk's wanting him to.
They weren't doing right.
They weren't doing right.
Yeah.
And that's what Habakkuk said. Why are you bringing in something wrong? We ain't doing everything right, but why are you bringing in more stuff wrong to discipline us? Why? Kind of a perplexing question, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, Habakkuk tries to understand, but here he's in chapter 1. He's petitioned God because of a problem. God tells him, I have a plan, but you ain't going to believe it. And he didn't believe it, did he?
No.
So you have, but you know, there's got to be some reason that this is going on the way God's got it set up, and what we'll discover in another week or two, next week, probably a week after, if we get, when I get into this, we may do the whole rest of it in the next 2 weeks. We may not read everything, but we're going to want to discover what is going on. And so that's what I want you guys to do, is to look into this, chapter 2, and see if you can understand what God is actually doing. Habakkuk didn't understand it. He thought God would come down there and destroy all the evildoers. That's what we would think. We say, okay, God, we got a corrupt nation up here. We got corrupt this. We got corrupt businesses everywhere. We got all these kind of things going on. Why don't you come in here and correct all that stuff? Well, that's what Habakkuk wanted, but God said, okay, I've got a plan to correct all that. But it wasn't what Habakkuk thought it ought to have been, was it? So what we want to do is see what God's purpose is in all this. Okay? And we'll do that next week. And you get an early reprieve today, because I couldn't figure out how to get divided. So we introduced it today, and then we'll look at, it has a middle and an end. And so we'll look at the middle and maybe the end both next week. Gracious Lord, thank you for this day, and we thank you for your watching care, and we just ask that you be with our church and guide and direct us, and Lord, just help us to keep persevering on no matter what our government's doing, and no matter what anyone else is doing, that we just keep our faith strong and hold on to you, and understand as much as we can of your word as you reveal it to us in your time and in our understanding. Just ask that you'd guide and direct us in our daily lives, and give us the freedom and the power to continue to witness and share your good news of salvation in Jesus Christ. It's in Jesus Christ's name. Amen.
Do roofing?
No, I work on rooftop units,
Oh.
AC units.
Oh, okay. My brother has to do that sometimes. He's in the maintenance department of the community hospital in Wise County, Decatur.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
gotten real big.
You work out there?
Yeah, he's been there about 15 years.
We did some work out there at that school.
Oh, the school?
Control.
Yeah,